In this video, I'm gonna actually tell you how to have sex with a woman from work, apparently. I'm John from BulldogMindset.com. On this channel, I teach you how to be a man. I teach you how to build financial independence, build the physique that you want, get the women that you want, and go from the victim mindset to what I call the Bulldog mindset. If that sounds like something you need to do, click that subscribe button and join us on the quest. Shit, yeah. I didn't think I'd ever be answering this question, but I guess I am. Hey, John, what would you recommend for setting up a frame for having sex with a woman from work? I understand that is a tricky topic, maybe, but maybe a good one for your next video. Thanks. Well, obviously, I'll give you the caveat first, blah, 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 blah. This might not be a good idea. It might cause trouble. You might get fired. You might get a sexual harassment suit, all this stuff. But, you know, obviously be careful here and, you know, make sure that, you know, if you do get in a relationship with this person that you're working with, that's where it kind of gets a little dangerous. If you're just like trying to make a casual thing, life is a fucking adventure. You gotta light your shit on fire sometimes and just let it fucking burn and see what happens. It'll make life exciting. I mean, you get some drama at work, you know, this bitch is like spilling coffee on you as she walks by. She's like, Oleg, what's up? Throws coffee in your face. It'll be pretty awesome. I think. I don't know. It'll be fun. Women are attracted to status, all right, and power. This is a lot of secretaries fuck their boss because he's the boss, all right. A lot of chicks at Walmart that are hot fuck the manager because he's the manager, okay. A lot of hot bartenders that shoot down tons of guys end up having sex with another bartender guy or the manager of the bar, even though he's a big dork, because he's the boss, all right? So having power, being in a position of power is obviously the first and best thing that you can do. You know, number one thing would be, if you want to set up the frame for this, is to be in a position of some kind of power, okay, over her, in a higher status position than her. Don't get me wrong here, okay? I'm not politically correct, okay? So I'm sure you guys have figured that out. But I will tell you this, just from a, again, I'm not going to judge you, but let's just tell you from, like, you know, what makes sense kind of standpoint. There's a difference between, like, using the frame of being in a position of power as a status type of thing to be more attractive to a woman that is at your work, versus using the position of power to manipulate and to create the idea of consequences if she doesn't do what you want. All right? So the second one is a scumbag move. It's a very beta move. That'll get you Me Too. When you look at the Weinsteins, the Weinstein and whatever his name is, and, you know, was the guy from the Day Show or whatever, and, you know, all these guys that did this, and even fucking Bill Cosby, right? These were very beta guys, okay? I don't even really like to use the alpha and beta term, but I want you to understand that what they did with their positions of power, which made it Me Tooable, was that they used that to get the women to basically put them in a position where they felt like they had to do this, or they're going to get fired, or there's going to be negative consequences for their careers, okay? There's a huge difference between that and being the fucking boss and you're the shit and you're the bomb, okay? Then you don't need to put any pressure on anyone. It's just that you're the man because you're the boss, okay? Do you understand what I'm saying? There's a huge difference. One of them is okay. You know, you could still leave yourself open to attack, and you have to play your cards right and play it cool and not, like, you know, maybe you got to be a little careful there and document things. The other one is just some fucked up scumbag shit, okay? If you're manipulating women and you're basically putting them in positions where they have to, like, basically do you sexual favors because they're afraid of their job or their career, you're in a danger. That's not a good place to be. That shit will come back and bite you in the ass, and it's just a scumbag move. It's very weak, okay? It's not what you want anyway. When you use that frame, again, you have to be careful. You don't ever want to be like, hey, you know, I've got some extra work that I need you to do. Why don't you come over this weekend and I need you to work on it. If you're the boss and you're telling someone to work on the weekend or to come over and do some extra work, now you're crossing the line there, okay? But if you're the boss and you're like, hey, good job on this project. Let's go out and celebrate and have a few drinks at the bar or whatever. That's cool. See, that's a frame that you can easily, like, if you're the boss, you can be like, oh, you did a really good job. I appreciate it. Hey, I'd like to go and buy you a drink. Okay? That's a really good way of setting the frame for that and setting the context. And, and I'll give you kind of the trick that you can use that can kind of gauge the interest where you avoid the whole situation of basically using your power for wrong or for evil, which is to leave the choice to the girl. Let's say that you say, oh, good job on the project, whatever, anyway, I was going to go grab a drink at such and such place afterwards, or you're trying to invite some girl that works with you out to a drink, okay? What you could do is you could basically like leave some options for her. You could say, hey, we should grab a drink or some coffee sometime and talk about X project or celebrate this thing that we did, right? Something work related, okay? So you can bridge the gap, because it's going to be really awkward if you go up to a coworker and you're like, hey, I want to take you out on a date in a sexual interest type of way. Like, I'm attracted to you in a sexual way. Would you like to get a drink with me? It's weird. Now you've just created a weirdness that's always going to be there. Like, it's like if she goes for it, it's great. But if she doesn't, now it's always going to be that, and she's going to talk to the other girls in the office, and you're fucked, right? Because she's going to be like, oh, this creepy guy is going to seem creepy. So what you need to do is you need to make the invitation in a non-sexual way. Something like, oh yeah, let's get together and work on this project, or talk about this thing, or celebrate this thing, or whatever it is. Somehow work related, okay? And then what you're going to do is you're going to give the option of either a lunchtime or morning, like coffee or lunch, or evening for drink, okay? But you give her the option, okay? So you throw it over in her court, and you say, hey, okay, she says, yeah, let's go and celebrate. Let's go and talk about this project. Then you're like, hey, okay, we could do I could do like coffee tomorrow at like 7 a.m. or some drinks at 7 p.m. Okay? And then you let her choose. Okay? And you're going to know, right? Again, now you're able to basically do this in a way that's a little bit slick, okay? Because you're not necessarily directly coming on to her, but you've presented two choices, okay? And she can choose one of those two choices. And if she chooses the evening for drinks, it's not an indication, it doesn't necessarily mean that she's absolutely interested in you, but it's a bigger indicator. Now, at that point, you can kind of proceed forward, and she's made that choice, okay? You've kind of left that option open. You're kind of like, rather than you directly having to make things awkward at work by basically indicating your interest, right? If you go to a bar or a club or something, and there's girls sitting around, and you're like, hey, you're kind of hot, I would like to buy you a drink. Don't do that. But if you're like, hey, what's going on? Hey, I just noticed you over there, and I like that dress you're wearing. You're looking real sexy tonight. By the way, it's too bad that you're blonde. You're not my type. But hey, what are you drinking? Whatever. You're hitting on some girl. Okay, those were some weird ones, but whatever. Okay, you're hitting on some girl. It's fine, because if she rejects you or whatever, she's not interested, it's fine. Like, you're never going to see her again. It's a bar. It's expected, okay? But if you indicate a level of interest at work, the problem is that now this girl is going to know that you came onto her in some way, and it's going to be weird from then on forward, okay? You're going to be creepy. It's going to seem creepy, like she's going to be avoiding you. It's going to create these weird kind of social tensions at work. A lot of guys make this mistake of just asking out girls at work. You cannot just do that. It's not good. It doesn't, plus not only that, if you directly ask, okay, she's sitting in her cubicle, right? And you go up to her and you're like, hey, let's go grab a drink sometime. I'd like to take you out for a dinner, or I'd like to take you out for a drink sometime, okay? Let's say that there's other people nearby, and they overhear to some degree, right? And she's like, she can't even say yes. I mean, maybe she will, but it's going to be weird. If she says yes, she's going to look slutty. She's going to look like, people are going to know her fucking business at work. She's a woman trying to make it in a man's world, in a workplace, okay? She doesn't want all these other guys swarming up to her. She doesn't want people to think that she's fucking her way to the top. She doesn't want any of this stuff, her personal business at work, to be known. She doesn't want people to know she's a woman at work. You see what I'm saying? Like, that she's got a sexual side, all right? Because it's hard to be a woman working in a man's environment, working in a work environment, okay? So she's possibly just going to say no, even though she might want to go out with you, because she doesn't want to create that impression. She doesn't want to. So you see what I'm saying? So it creates an awkward kind of situation. The best thing that you can do is, one, already be flirting, already be joking around and whatnot with her, okay, so you kind of know what the answer is, and then you make it somewhat work related, and then you put the ball in her court as to how she wants to meet or when she wants to meet, okay? And, you know, I mean, you can just go direct and say, okay, you know, hey, let's, I'm going to go over here to grab a drink after work, you know, why don't you come along? Or if you have a group of friends, you can say, hey, me and my friends are grabbing some drinks, whatever, you know, come with us, whatever, okay? And now you're creating that kind of situation where it's low pressure. You haven't really, like, invited her solo, you haven't asked her on a date, so, you know, it's kind of cool. And if she refuses or whatever, or if things don't go well, it's not going to be awkward and weird at work. Okay, so that's really your best shot at doing this, rather than the direct approach which you might use in another social situation. You have to realize that this is like a slow game, as opposed to, you know, if you go to a bar or nightclub, you got one shot. You need to, you know, you see a chick at Starbucks, you need to go up and you need to go and talk and express interest and make sure that, you know, you've moved the thing along, because you're not going to see her again. Girl at work, you're going to see her every day, okay? So you have time to be a little bit more deliberate and a little bit more careful with how you're presenting yourself and how fast that you move. Okay, you don't have to make moves as fast. Do what you want to do with this advice. I'll tell you also real quick, guys, take the Bulldog Mindset quiz. If you haven't, it's up here in the corner. It's down in the description below. Life is fun. Light your shit on fire and see what the fuck happens. Go for it, but it's on you, man. Take care. I'll talk to you next time.